quiet bit here. There should be less wind around here, hopefully. Feel the bluebells. Right, let's try here. Set this camera up. Hello. Right. Just make sure it's working. Yeah. A little bit awkward there. Okay, hopefully you can see me. You've not got too much wind there. That should do it. Right. Good day. So I wanted to say something just a little bit about the food again. I've been feeling a little bit silly for talking about food all the time. Apparently they've even got this mental health reason for people who are a little bit so-called obsessed about food, you know, or want to eat healthy as if they've got a mental health disorder, you know, which I think is totally insane. I know some people will have one. But yeah, so there's a few things I wanted to say, and this stuff is difficult because I feel like I'm challenging and pushing boundaries with it of what's acceptable and what's normal and what's just like, you're totally insane, mate, you know. And it's so easy for people to look like a nutter when they're talking about spirits and energies and other beings and artificial intelligence and all these things, you know. It's so easy for that to just look like whatever, and people just switch off. They're just like, yeah, whatever, you know, load of rubbish, which is part of the conditioning, you know, that we don't give people a chance, that we don't listen, you know, that we're so judgmental straight away. So a few days ago I did a video saying that I was stopping eating raw food because I wanted to, I needed a bit more strength in my body, and I hadn't been eating really enough, you know, nuts or seeds, things like that, you know, to give me what I need. So the egg felt really good and gave me a bit of energy, you know. So yesterday I had some eggs again, and I had some, I think I had a break one day and then I had some eggs the day before that. And this is where it sounds nuts, you know. The energy and the eggs inside my system, the makeup of the eggs, just the eggs, is this will sound insane, but I've got to speak my truth, you know. It's non-harmonic, you know, meaning that it's been boiled and it's not necessarily what we're intended to eat from nature, you know. We would have maybe had it once in a while, but we wouldn't be having it all the time, you know. Our main staple is meant to be from the natural food, the fruits and the veg and the herbs that come from the land, you know. That's what it's meant to be. So this energy of the eggs cooked and food like that, you know, there's lots of other foods that's like this, cheese, you know, dairy in general, manufactured foods. This energy is like this. It's very grating on our system, you know, and our system wants the pure life force energy foods, you know, for us to operate optimally. Humanity is not understanding that what we eat is really, really affecting our psyche, our moods, and how we act. And not all of it's obvious. It's not like big ups and downs and, you know, like getting really moody and it is for the people who are eating a lot of the rubbish. and the weight issues and all that. That is why you see so much drama go on, and the drama is called for. The energies like the drama, it's a feeding ground for these energies. It's really important for us to understand that natural foods, the way they come from the land, the way they're intended, are in harmony with our system, meaning that when we ingest those energies, we are more able to connect to our spirit and the truth within us. Now, I know people are saying that we can, by the power of our mind and by the power of intention, we can, to a degree, I'd say, override the effects of some foods. What we have to understand is that a lot of these people are very dissociated and very disconnected from their body, and they experience themselves more dissociated, rather than whole and within our body systems. What we are needing at the planet right now is to get ourselves very much within our body and in the sensation of being alive and fully connected to the realness of being a human. And unfortunately for a lot of us, due to traumas, due to things we've gone through, due to the stress of everyday life, due to the pressure, we are eating other foods that numb us out. And we are doing this to cope. But it's also a double-edged sword. There's also other energies, I feel, that are using these foods as fuel within our body system. Don't know if you call them parasites or whatever you call them. Just keep checking whether someone's coming. I'm a bit conscious with talking when people are around, dog walkers and that. So, I don't want to seem like I'm being really pushy with this stuff, I'm not. It's everyone's entitled to their own view on things, but for anyone who does resonate with what I'm saying, I really feel this very strongly now, and I've gone backwards and forwards to eating manufactured foods and all that, and every single time things get worse for me and my girlfriend, and the energy between us is less pure, So for whatever it is for your particular body, it depends who we are. There are certain foods which weaken your connection to your source, to your truth, and affect your system in a negative way. And there's other foods, obviously, that strengthen that and bring you into your truth. There's a lot more that we don't understand, because the vibration of the plants, their plants have a spirit as well, and the energy of the plants, just look at it, around you, it's absolutely beautiful. And there is a lot of protection within nature. Nature can probably hear me right now, and that's not stupid. We're moving into a world where these things aren't stupid, it's understandable that this could be true, that there could be a life force and intelligence. When we're putting foods in it within our body in which the intelligence, how to say it, has been manipulated, because we have manipulated these foods, we have designed them with an intention, and it's that intention behind it that's almost as bad as what we're putting in our body. The intention with a lot of these things is to manipulate us into buying the foods. When we eat those foods, we lower ourselves into the lower astral, which is what I was saying the other day with the other video. And within that lower frequency, we begin to feel lower emotions, like, unhappiness and dissatisfaction. Now, what I have understood and seen in people is, for a lot of people, we're talking either spirit possession, we're talking either artificial intelligence, could be any of them, or what was the other one? Parasites in the body. I don't care which one it is, all I'm saying is that there is something that is feeding off these energies and is keeping humanity locked within these lower vibrations, and we are not realizing that this energy which is coming around our field, our auric field, these energies which are merging themselves in with our body and our aura, are not a part of us. In our truth, most of the humans on this planet are very vibrant, very uplifted, very happy, and so grateful for this life we see around us. We're so full of gratitude and thankfulness, and we are happy to eat whatever we're given from nature, When we have these manufactured foods which have been designed to manipulate us, we become discontent with what nature provided us, with what God, the source, this universe provided for us naturally. We become discontent with what is perfectly divine for us, for our body, you know? And that dissatisfaction leads us to want more and more and more. And from what I have seen these spirit energies, they are incomplete. The human spirit is not incomplete. It does not need external things from it outside of itself. The human spirit does not need that. We would be able to only eat because we feel that our body may need something. You know, not that we're desperate for it, that, you know, we can't go a day without eating a chocolate bar, you know. This is the addictive pulls. The trouble is we are very advanced in our truth, many of us, apart from the traumas and the things that have held us back, which have hurt us. That knocks us back. You know, when we've gone through something difficult in our childhood, we do need to heal and process that, the anger and the upset and the tears and all that. But we are living in a completely different level than these reptilian energies and the other, my head said Anunnaki. I don't know whether they exist or what, you know. It's just a thought, whatever you feel is going on, you know. Spirit, demonic, whatever, you know. Those energies are living in a dog-eat-dog world, a very different reality to the truth of the human spirit. Those energies live in a state where they are never fulfilled, never happy, and they're continually searching and want more control. They always want more control, and for rigid patterns of behaviour to be set up to keep us, humanity, enslaved and caught in very rigid, narrow ways of thinking and perceiving the world. That is why people are very narrow-bound and unable to, only in certain moments, perceive the beauty of their world, the beauty of the planet. That is our natural state, a state of wonder. It is a source of childlike innocence, but we are also older in our truth. You know, we wouldn't be going around as a child. It's just that we had that childhood innocence. And it's not a stupid innocence, it's a wonder and a grace in there. So the males would be in their sacred nobility and their male protectiveness, and the females would be in their mother earth energy. A lot of the women's, the powerful feminine energy has been cut off. This is why the need to return to the nature now. This nature is here to help us remember who we are and here for the balance. And we're here to try and get balance again right now, because it is serious. It's, you know, on one level we're all right, and it doesn't matter if we help the planet and help the people, because we must trust that everything will be all right. But on the other level, there is much work to do, and there is much we can all do here by coming together in groups especially and try and understand what's going on and what do we all commonly agree on, you know, is going on, and can we help those who don't understand. Not try and rigidly make them believe what we do. It's not about that. It's just about helping, you know, everyone's got something to teach each other. I'm sure many people who listen to this video have things they can teach me. I need to learn a great deal, you know. But I do feel like I understand this very, very well, and many people are not getting and not understanding how manipulated humanity has been and pushed into another path, an alternative path. When we understand that our systems and our energy bodies have been hijacked, especially the plexus area for many people, the stomach, when we understand this, we will be able to push off the energy which is not us. And when those beings and other energies leave our energy field, whether it's parasites in the body, whether you kill the parasites, whatever you believe it is, when you push that off, our own spirit will come in. And sometimes it may be difficult because we may have pain and grief at the loss of our childhood, or for people like me who have suffered the traumas. But it is in suffering this trauma that led us to wake up, because we suffered pain and we were no longer satisfied with what the world was bringing us, the material world. It was no longer enough. But this is a difference. This is things not being enough for us, as in we want a connection to our spirit, our soul. No material possession, no addiction to food is ever going to satisfy us. It's never going to be enough. And that's a good thing. Whereas the other addiction to pornography, to food, smoking, to controlling others, to gambling, all those things never satisfy. The true satisfaction comes in knowing that you connect to your source of who you are. That's beautiful, that. And things become radiant, and you feel radiant, and you feel full of life. And that life affects other people around you. And you feel strong in yourself, I'm doing these videos in the hope that me sharing what I'm aware of will help me decide, come on mate, sort yourself out and get yourself up to the next level. It's always the next level. Where can we go now? How can we progress forward now? So my understanding is also about the mistreatment of the animals. This mistreatment is affecting our energy body as well. The mistreatment is affecting our body. Whatever happens to those animals, and if we mistreat them, we eat them and we take in that mistreatment into us. So there's a lot to understand. And sometimes people who speak as this may seem nuts, because the people who are listening who think that this is just insane, many people do not have a body connection. They do not have a connection to the heart, which speaks a different language, which understands deeper than the thoughts, what we've been told from childhood, what we've been told in school about what reality is. The heart will question those, I still question what I'm aware of, but there's a couple of things over these last 10 years since I began this journey full on. There's a couple of things that have always stayed, that remain true to me, and they seem to keep coming back. Every time I think they might be rubbish, I realise no, it's not rubbish. And the main one that's important to me is that humanity has been led off path. And I don't know whether you call it the devil, you call it darkness, you call it whatever. We've been led to good places as well by a good spirit, who have our best interest at heart. I'm sure we do have protective elders and people, ancestors around us to help guide us in a good way. But it's been a real trick, this, getting us all caught in materialism and on the next thing. And the trouble is when someone's own mind is infiltrated, whether you think that's again by the media, things outside, or whether you think that something's possible for something to go into your body and affect you, whatever that is, we can all agree that there's been a lot of lies by corruptive energies. It's just that what we don't understand on this planet is that as above, so below, meaning that if you see manipulation and corruption within this world, in this reality, you see the government corruption, you see whatever going on, it's all part of a grander, bigger thing, meaning that as above, so below, meaning that in the astral realm, in the spiritual realm, there is also a similar thing going on, because these patterns echo through time. It may be that other universes have a similar trouble going on too, to us. But I believe that a balance is needed here, and balance is needed. There is so much I don't understand yet. It really is. But there's some things I do know. And there will be a returning to our truth for many of us. But there is a path, and I'm sure we can all agree on that one at least, that there is a path that leads us to, and there are decisions that we can make which lead us off this path, like taking up smoking again, or whatever. There are certain decisions along our journey which will take us off path. I will do a video about trauma and how I believe that my trauma, and Katie believes that her trauma, was set up and orchestrated in order to weaken us within this life, to set us back. We must learn not to be scared of any of these things now, even the idea of darker things, because all of these things are known and understood, and we have a lot of help and support with us. So we must not be afraid of it. It is not fear-mongering. Being able to look at what's real is not fear-mongering. It's just being able to bring the darkness to the light so that we can heal and bring truth to this planet, because anything that is hidden in the dark will be used, meaning our addictions, the lies, when we hide things from other people, those things are the areas to look at. There's a reason why we're hiding it, and often the other manipulative energies and beings around want that stuff hidden, because that shame and that hidden stuff can be used against us. We're on a path of returning to our sacred union with this Mother Earth. This is what is happening now on this planet. It's a beautiful time. It just seems pretty nuts, The energy, when you go into a town, you see the chaotic energies and the madness and, the stress and the you just got to get on with it, and all the programs. These are programs, everybody is living these programs out. They are control programs. I don't understand it all yet, but when you walk into certain areas, you walk into certain towns, certain parts of the town, there are programs and there are behaviours that you should adhere by. We are learning that it's okay to break these now. There is a sacred order, I believe. There is a sacred, what's the word? There's a harmonic order to the universe, that has been here for a very long time. I don't know how it's kept here. The energies that have infiltrated our planet and our Earth are not in harmonic vibration with themselves. In other words, they are doing many things that even would go against their own spirit, if they do have one. Some of them maybe don't. The energies that are affecting the Earth now are lost. They are very lost, and they do not have a connection to the source of life. When we have the connection to the source of life, we do not need to take energy from other people. We do not create as much destruction on the planet. Those energies do not know how to live without controlling or without... So anywhere you see control on the planet, I would say have a look and see whether you think that that is the influence of reptilian energies, or which influence is it. I have seen vampiric energies as well, which is a different sort of breed, who work more alone, who are very anarchist in the negative sense. I think there's a positive and negative to everything. But all I would say is it's worth just thinking about this stuff and looking around you at people's behaviours and watching, and trying not to react when they try and pull you in, and have a look. Who is that? Who's doing that? Is that the ego? Could be the ego. It could be a part of yourself. It could be a shadow aspect. It could be, the very hurt child inside. It could be a mixture of a spirit and the hurt child. I have seen people who I believe have energy within them who they believe is themselves, which is not them. Which they believe is their inner child, which is not even their inner child. It does sound complicated, but at heart it's not. At heart we're just learning to understand what is truth and what's not. And I believe there is a way through it. And within every human we were given this guidance system, which is our heart and our soul. This guidance system knows what's right and wrong. It doesn't need someone else or an authority to tell us. Sometimes we get lost, yes. Our lost humanity, that's probably where this comes from. The ones who thought that humanity needs controlling realise we were lost. And it is true, we are helplessly lost sometimes, some of us, in addiction, in heroin addiction, in strong addictions. And in a way they need help, but it's not always the form of control that our society has said that we need. Okay. 25 minutes. I really don't want to seem as if I think I know everything, I'm not trying to do that. I'm just trying to share what I've become aware of. But this, if I was to talk of the positive stuff, because I know this stuff to do with the darker beings, and that really puts people off, and they're just like, oh, you know, whatever, you know, you're too caught in whatever, and you're focusing on that too much, which I don't feel. I feel you can focus on it too much, but I feel like we need to be aware of it, and we need to be understanding what is us, what is true humanity, what is not, and then we need to stop aligning with what is not human, because that is how we bring our grace back in. As soon as we know how to discern what is of a negative nature and what is not our responsibility, because we have our responsibility. Our responsibility is our own shadow, our own pain. And some people say that by saying that you believe that dark entities are affecting people, it's as if you're putting all the responsibility away from yourself and saying, oh, it's not mine to deal with, it's everybody else, you know, which has nothing to do with that. It's actually taking more responsibility for yourself, because you have to get this other rubbish out of the way before you can see what is truly yours. Otherwise, if you're taking on other energies, you are not helping the planet, you know. I mean, I may be giving a tiny bit of misinformation in this video, which would be from the other energies, you know, and that's not helping the planet. So we do need to find the path back to our sacred purity, so that whatever we are giving to other people, whatever we are sharing, and is of beautiful clarity and strength and nobility and our purest essence, you know. I've totally forgotten what I was going to say now. The truth in us is very beautiful and very gentle, you know, and that's hard to accept for a man. But we do have strength too, you know. It's not like we're not going to take shite, you know. We'd fight, you know, but we know how to stand in that, you know, patience, all these tolerance, all these things. These are very natural human things. It's only a human that's out of their grace and out of their power that becomes like that, you know. And when a human is out of their power, not only are they showing their upset, their own pain and the things they've gone through, they are so much more easy to manipulate. Their energy body is weakened. They have fallen into a lower state. It's not about being higher or better than anyone. It's about being the best we can be, you know. We need to friggin' be the best we can be. We need to be strong human warriors, you know. And I don't mean fighting. I mean, I love it when I go and run and I get strong and that, you know. We need a lot of that too. You know, our brothers, like, we need to be strong and say, you know, I'm with you, mate, you know, and be able to stick through the difficult stuff in life and show that we're supporting each other, you know. And the women, you know, they need to be there. You're powerful, you know. You're powerful. There is a great power in us, humanity, and we can turn this planet around, you know. We can turn it around, but it's in here, it's in our bodies, it's in our protecting our energy field, it's in reclaiming our sovereign power that we are going to do this. We can change as much as we want in the outside world, you know, and that's really cool. You know, I love the stuff going on. I love that we're stopping the plastic, you know, and all the pollution. We're trying to stop that, you know. But until we change what's in here, until we realise the manipulation going on inside the mind, inside the ego, you know, and all this stuff, we can change as much as we want, you know. So a healthy level of doing, healthy level of being present and being in our centre, a healthy level of doing, because some of the new age stuff was just a bit, you know, a bit floaty, airy fairy. We don't need any of that anymore. It's time to move on from that. So anyway, I hope I've not done your head in. Yeah, I bought myself a few almonds and figs and that. The figs are interesting really, because in a way these have been altered because they're not in their true sacred, you know, they've been dried out and stuff, so really I should be limiting and not having these very much, you know. And there is a possibility that there's some cooking or something involved, I'm not sure. But I kind of tend to have my little treat, you know, which is figs and that. But I do need to sort it out. We're aware of what we need to do. All of us somewhere, we know what we need to do. So basically on my little journey, it was like, I stopped smoking weed years ago, you know. We stopped the manufactured food, you know. We stopped the television. We just slowly filtered out all the stuff which didn't feel like it meant anything anymore. And now I'm down to the level where, like, I'm saying that, you know, figs aren't that good. When society was saying, figs? You know, like, nature, how can you say there's something wrong with that? You know, like, that's perfect for you. You know. Seriously, like, I've been on the crazy end of the scale where I've found, like, the effects of 5 almonds affect me, you know. But that's how sensitive the human body is. It's very, very sensitive. And the foods we are putting in our system, and I'm going to keep saying this through all these videos, you know, the foods that we're putting in our system are weakening our system. I don't know about the disease part of it. I feel inside me that eating clean foods and not overwhelming the body, I feel that would lead to less disease. I can't say, I'm not an authority in it, but I know on the mind and the effects on the system and the optimalization of the body, getting that optimal, you know. The nature foods are here for a reason. Everything is for a reason, you know. We do not live in a dull, numbed out, meaningless world. The world just feels meaningless because we lost our soul connection, our connection to our spirit. The world is full of meaning and wonder. It's just I don't know half the hell of what it is yet. I'm slowly trying to learn and reconnect with this beautiful world again and understand what is real and what a wonderful place this is. Truly trying to start to live. I'm starting to live for the first time in years, because when I was younger, a trauma happened to me that knocked me out of my life. And not only that, I smoked weed from 16 to 24, and I got lost then and ended up doing bugger all. It was an interesting experience, you know, and I needed to numb things out. So after very many years of not being in life, I'm coming back to experiencing it. And when I say experiencing, I mean like being alive, where you feel life, you know, you're so in touch with it. This sounds nuts, this again, but I'm going to shut up in a minute. But what I'm saying is that when we lived in the wild, when we were animals in our primal state, we would touch the earth and feel the earth, and we would feel the wind. We would feel the changes in the seasons. We would know when a storm is coming. What the heck has happened to us that we are not in touch with our reality around us? We are in this, you know, we know that we must remember to do an appointment, or we must remember to book an appointment, or go and sort something out, the washing out, you know, the endless activities we have to keep us preoccupied and distracted. We used to feel life on a deep level, and that is not wacky, that is like real, you know, real things. There you go. Cheers. Hazelnuts. Almonds. It's good to soak the almonds, by the way. Probably know that. Okay. I'm hoping I get some listeners on here. That is good. Almonds. Almonds are full of life. Natural foods are full of life. It's a wise idea. When you eat it, you can just feel it, you know. definitely full of life. How can we expect to really realise what the spirit is if we're eating rubbish that doesn't bring us to our spirit? Anyway, I'll leave this for now. Cheers. Hope you guys have a good time. Any comments, feel free to say anything, you know. I'll wait. With non-reaction, I'll answer. Cheers.